After my last video, I got a message from someone asking me what I thought the most strangest thing has been. What was the most strangest thing I'd ever heard of that had been recycled? And the answer is kind of strange in itself. That would be the human body. I know that sounds strange. Why would you need to recycle a body? In the past few years, eco-friendly burials and after-death experiences for the body have become more and more popular. People are trying to look for better ways to get rid of their bodies after they're no longer using them. Personally, one of my dreams of after-death placement would be to have my body, all the organs donated, anything that could be of use, scientifically used, donating everything that can be donated, and then have my skeleton hanging in a university somewhere. I thought that would be a cool way to go. So, since not everybody can donate their skeletons to science and universities, I decided to share with everyone the eco-friendly after-death options for your body. First one is kind of interesting. It's called the Life Gem, and basically what happens is your ashes get compressed and they turn into a jewel, a diamond-like jewel, where you can pick the colors, the setting, the shape, and anything, and someone can wear you. They'll be with you forever, pretty much. It's kind of interesting thought to turn into a jewel. But the next is called is a green burial type of thing. It's a biodegradable shroud. It's wrapped around you, and that acts as your coffin, sort of. You're wrapped up. You're put in the ground about 3 feet deep, which obviously aids very much in the decomposition. And so there are no chemicals, there are obviously no coffins or anything. It's just you in the ground and quickly back to earth. So that's quick. Next is the EcoPod, a cast. It looks like cast material. It's like it comes in colors, and it can even be have designs on it, but it's made from recycled material like newspaper. And so obviously you decompose much faster that way too. The next is called a company called Vinyly, and they turn your ashes into a vinyl record, which can have music on it, can have you giving your last will and testament on it, can have you saying you love your family members one more time on it. So you'd be a record. Be good for someone who's like a huge music fan. You've got their voice and everything right there. It's interesting. The next is called Shelves for Life. Now this isn't about your body, but you can literally turn your coffin into a decorative item in your house for a long time before you die. And it's basically, it's all the wood that goes into your casket, and they create shelves out of it. You know, it's a decorative item. When you die, they disassemble it, and there's your coffin. It's been a decorative item all this time. It's kind of interesting. The next one is, this one's kind of, sounds like it's from a horror movie, but instead of cremation, this is called resomation, and you are put in a tube with water and lye at like 300 degrees for 3 hours, and the result is lots and lots of liquid and powdery substance, which is you. It's actually steamed. You are steamed. Your body's steamed, and that's what happens to it once it's steamed for that long. And it's actually a lot more eco-friendly than a real cremation, which has a lot of carbon gases going into the air. It's very bad for the environment. But this is actually like 80% less energy to cremate your body, basically. And they say, and then you think, well, what are you going to do with all that fluid and powdery substance that comes from you once you've been steamed? They encourage fertilizer. So if someone's comfortable using you for fertilizer and then eating the fruits and vegetables that come from you, then that is another option. It's kind of creative when you think about it, you're coming back in that way. The next one I have is very similar to that one, except it's not quite as creepy with the steaming of the body. What they do is this is called Urns, and you're cremated and you're put in an eco-friendly urn, which is like a coconut shell, and you can, before you die, you go in, you talk to them, and you decide what kind of tree you would like. And in your ashes, they put a seed to whatever tree, and then they take your ashes in the shell and they bury it wherever you want to be buried, obviously, and then you grow into whatever plant it was you wanted. It's life after death sort of thing. Through your ashes, you live on as something else. Another way to live on, this is kind of creative for people who like marine life or like the ocean. They can turn your ashes into a reef. Yes. For 500 years, your reef, your body would have been mixed with cement and placed on the coast where marine life can live off of it for that long. I don't know if you can pick which coast or where you want your body to be put, but that's what I was doing. I mean, probably it's your body, but these things are all like custom. You know, you can do your own thing to it. The next thing is you can be turned into compost, which is similar to a couple of other things I've said. But this is where there's a Swedish company who they take your body, and it takes about a year to complete. And they freeze your body in liquid nitrogen, and they use sound waves to turn it into that thin, powdery substance. And then they put it through a vacuum chamber, which takes out all the water in it. And they said that it's extremely fertile, and it's just very nutritious, and you are once again giving back to the earth. And it's kind of interesting to think your body doing that. So the last couple of things here are really interesting, but this one isn't out of the box, because this is actually where they take your ashes and they turn them into pencils. And there's a special box, and only one pencil can come out at a time. And once these pencils come out, you sharpen them through a special sharpener located on the box. And once you use them all, your ashes will be kept in this box, which now turns into an urn. So it's interesting to think to be riding with your dead loved one, or your family members are going to be riding with your body once you're gone. So but again, it's another very creative option for friendly removal of your body. And then this last one is art. You could turn your ashes into art. There's an artist who will take your ashes and turn it to like a 3D sculpture sort of thing. The one that I saw was like birds on a birdhouse, and it was someone's ashes, and on the end of it has like their date of birth and their name and stuff. So you could be artistic in your death. You could be an art a piece of art in your death. So we've got all of the different sorts of eco-friendly after-death options for your body, but it doesn't end there. I know you were thinking we were done. Like, oh, that's a lot of different ways to dispose of my body, but aside from your body, there's a couple of things that you can do to help encourage even less waste for your funeral services. The first is there are these invitations, and they're called eco-invites, and what you do is after you get it, read it, whatever, you can take that paper and plant it. There are seeds in it, and you'll grow it. So it's not even like taking paper to be recycled. It's paper that lives on. You take it and you can go out and look and go, that was the invitation to Aunt Sue's funeral. Let's see. Oh, and the last interesting earth-friendly option we have is the bicycle hearse, which is not widespread. It's just in like one area, I think. But instead of having all the gas going into the hearse, you have a little bicycle, and the guy, it's really decorative, it's pretty cool looking, and they ride your coffin to whatever place you're going. So there's many ways to be eco-friendly in death, and I'm sure there's a lot more than what I found. And you never know what you could figure out and do with your own ashes, or your loved one's ashes, and how friendly to the environment, or how another way to keep that person in your life, instead of just ashes sitting on a mantle, or a coffin in a grave, or a body in a crypt. People are getting very creative with their wishes. But what would you like to do with your body when you die? Is there anything on the list that you think that maybe you've never heard of, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. Maybe I would like to do that. It'd be interesting to hear people's opinions and see if there's something that jumped out at them, or something that maybe they've changed from wanting to be buried to being worn by their grandchildren as a necklace or as a pencil. Good luck charm for taking a test. I don't know. But anyway, it's definitely something to think about.